Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. I'm a bit out of breath. We run up here. Third time's a charm on trying to get this live stream going. So apparently, they don't want it to be going today, but I want it to be going today. Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, my hair is about at that point in the week where I'm ready to just put it back, put it up, get it completely off my face. It's just annoying me. So deal with it. Bear with me, please. How is everybody this fine Friday, or as I like to say, Friday? Today is a donation only live stream, but so far I don't think we have any donations, but it's been a minute since I checked. I checked before I moved my operation upstairs here, but yeah, I think we are up to date. There's no donations so far. So this might just be a very short and sweet live stream like it is sometimes. So anyone looking to donate can do so, and we can move right into that. Otherwise, check on in. It says we have 2 people here. Just say hi. We'll do some shout outs and all the fun things that we do at the beginning of these live streams. Anyone have any fun weekend plans? We do. We're gonna go somewhere fun, just for the evening. Yeah, I'm not that guy that's like on the internet saying where we're going before we go there, just for safety. Not that anyone's lurking and gonna come get me or anything, but I'll tell you guys all about it on Wednesday next week once we're back. It'll be cool. It's not like we're leaving. I mean, we're going out of town for like a few hours. It's like because we have our dogs here and we don't have anyone to let them out, so they're just gonna be hanging out for about 4 to 5 hours, just ready and waiting for us to get back that evening. But it'll be fun. I'm excited. Very, very fun. It's not like particularly for Boston's birthday, but it's a fun thing that both kids are gonna be like, oh my god. I'm excited too. It'll be fun. Again, I'll let you guys all know soon. Check on in. Let us know that you're here. I usually wait till about the 5-minute mark until we decide maybe we're just gonna wrap this up if no one checks on in or comes on in. So we're about halfway there already. Brianna's here. Hello. I knew somebody was here. It told me there were 2 people here. Hope you're doing well, my dear. I was just going back through some old emails. I had a few emails that I kind of dropped the ball on this last week and a half. So I was in there answering emails and I stumbled back upon your lovely, lovely wedding photos, and it made me smile once again. Such beauty. I just loved your little photo shoot that you guys did. It's so cool. I just hear Ruth out there doing her hound dog noises. Ruth, what are you doing? She's my baby Ruth. All right. Yeah. Still says we have 2 people. Let's see. Make sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys can see me. I think it's just that we are kind of a lazy Friday day today. That's a lot of days. But next week we're going to be doing a free 1-card pull on Wednesday. Wednesday next week. And then we are going to be doing Friday, since it's going to be yet another Friday the 13th, we're going to be doing another 1313 full read day. Limit 2 per person. We didn't really have to technically limit it last time. I think the most we did for someone was like 3 readings, if I remember correctly, last month. It wasn't like that I had to like severely limit it or anything. And I don't anticipate that I will this next time either, but just so everyone gets a chance, we'll limit it to 2. So basically, for just slightly more than the price of a full read, you could get yourself 2 full reads with the 1313 Divine Feminine Friday the 13th pricing next Friday, a week from today. All right, so we are rounding out over toward that 5-minute mark. So once we hit 5 minutes, if I don't see that anyone's going to donate, I will just bid you guys adieu and wish you the bestest weekend ever, and hope that you all find some matrix archons to amputate or surgically remove from your life in some way, because those matrix tricksters are out in full force right now. And I'm here for it. Like I can see the interference coming a mile away at this point, and it's almost just laughable rather than like getting upset about it or like why me victimhood woe is me. I'm just like good one, good one, we're not doing this today. Nope. No, period. No is a complete sentence, especially where the matrix is concerned. And, it's funny because I'm just out here vetoing everything I see that I don't want for my experience. The chemtrails, no. uh, Went to the grocery store, just saw all this garbage. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm just vetoing everything. But I feel more in my own power now than I ever have. And that is an accomplishment in this matrix. Just not to say I'm completely self-actualized and in power. Absolutely not. We're still all making our way downtown, right? With that, but we're getting there. We're getting there little by little. And a lot of times during this awakening process, it's, a lot of people start out like, what's my life purpose? And what am I here to do? And what lessons am I here to learn? And we've already kind of vetoed the whole lesson thing. If you're listening to my words right now or on the replay, you're not here to learn lessons. You're here to remember who the F you are and find whatever it is that your purpose, that your spirit, not your soul, because again, that's kind of the Matrix Akashic record version of your personality or who you are within this construct. And a soul can be sold, right? As far as a lot of these celebrities and whatnot, a soul can be kind of handed over. A spirit never can be. And that's why a lot of these people, that's the thing. If you're born through a womb portal, you have a spirit when you come in here. It's just a lot of these, like, let's just take an example of these elite families or what have you. They will take that child, even before it is born, they will do all sorts of crazy to the mother to manipulate the DNA, the genetics, the, what do you call it? The XY chromosomes or XX chromosomes. They will sometimes flip those or invert those to already just cause such confusion in these children that are born in some of these more elite families. That if they don't get to these kids, young, say they do a star search thing and find Britney Spears at age whatever, 6 or 7, I can't, 6, 7. I can't remember what age she was, but, just tuning into her energy, she wasn't siphoned right away or, whatever happened to that poor, beautiful soul. But her spirit has, at the very least, gone way to the back of the bus or has exited stage left because, especially when these, and that's another thing I downloaded the other night. As a child, watching Unsolved Mysteries and all this stuff on TV, I was absolutely terrified of spontaneous human combustion. Has anyone ever heard of that? It's a very almost never talked about topic of conversation. And it's a very rare occurrence, but I was just between sleep and awake the other evening. I think it was Monday. I want to say it was about Monday night, maybe Tuesday night, as I'm falling asleep. And I heard that spontaneous human combustion is actually when these kind of infiltrative AI programming, archonic, whatever we want to call these forces, come in so in your face that the spirit, it's like the fire of the spirit and then this just whole thing. You use that term quite often, and I used to fear it too. Oh my gosh, it's like such a random, I've never heard anyone just randomly talking about it, really. Unless I brought it up somehow. But it was like fear number 1, 2, and 3 when I was a kid. I'm like, I don't want to spontaneously human combust. That's scary. My house burned down when I was 13, but that's a whole different thing. It wasn't my vessel, But yeah, it's like when these tricksters, because that's the thing is these archons cannot inhabit a human body in the way that, say, a spirit can inhabit human body. It's almost like, the best way I can describe it is they can never be the driver, but they can, think of these electric cars, these Teslas and stuff where, you don't even need a driver for these things. They can kind of run kind of almost like they're using the body as an avatar and they're running these archonic scripts or these AI scripts for this person to become this really bad you know, unaliver, or to go pew pew up, I hate having to use all these stupid words, a movie theater or a mall just to create fear. Oh no, a message is coming. Yeah, it must be, huh? Um, yeah, it's not that these archons, or whatever we want to call these tricksters, of the matrix, can inhabit the human body. They can, I mean, for lack of a better word, I think what we consider like a possession, it's not that these entities can fully inhabit and become the body, but they can greatly influence through some sort of outside signal, if that makes sense. So it's like, even if they are, again, not inhabiting, but persuading, or kind of the ones remotely driving the car, they're not feeling the pain of that body when they go do these crazy things. They're not, um, and again, also not accumulating that quote unquote karma. Again, that's a soul construct thing, karma. They're not accumulating that karma. The body that the spirit was once attached to is somehow offloaded with that karma, even if they've exited stage left. It's really a whole can of worms, and that might be a good cosmic question corner of like, how exactly is it that they influence, or kind of, again, not inhabit, but not even quite possess, but I mean, that's the best way we can describe, like, oh, you're possessed by a demon, or you're possessed by evil, or whatever. I mean, yes, but no. It's just a nuance that I've come to learn just over this last 2 weeks or so, that I didn't quite understand before that, and now the nuance of it is much more clear to me than before, because I'm like, well, if they can just come in and take over, like, what's to stop them from taking over all of us? Oh, believe me, they've tried. Um, it's just so many of us that are here for specific missions, like a high stakes, like, let's pull the plug on this matrix type of mission, like a lot of us here, we already have built-in protections that when we incarnated, our spirit knew the lay of the land, as far as not only the true astrology, but the false matrix grid that was put over each and every one of these planetary bodies, and how they all, orchestrate and move together, and of the heaviness that a lot of, maybe some of us incarnated with through family trauma, or accidents that happened to us, or just the heavy, almost karmic feeling things that we've been through. We had to almost pack this quote unquote heavy karma on ourselves, but it's not our actual karma. This is just ways to kind of help, almost act as a dumb waiter to kind of bring us down into these horrible frequencies of the matrix, so that we could be like, again, like the warden that checks himself into the institution, that's pretending to be a patient, so that they can then completely, what's the word, audit. We're auditing the matrix from these very horrible, nasty traumas, trigger points, and what have you, so that we know exactly where all the false buttons and whistles are, so that when the time comes to like exit stage left for ourselves, we can pull all of that, and we know, because we kind of, we're undercover, so to speak. So if you have learned that you are, you got a reading from someone, and like, oh, well, what are my karmas? Or you looked into different divisional charts of your, your sidereal Vedic placements, and you're like, oh, wow, that's really heavy karma. It's really not. It's really not. It looks like karma to, you know, the tricksters, because they want you to think that you're karmically burdened when you're actually not. Because if we came in here with a karma-free chart, in all ways, shapes, and forms, because we all have like karma free points within our charts. It's just kind of built in, because spirit is pure. So your pure spirit will shine through also in that chart. And when I'm reading someone's chart and I see really heavy karma here, 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 but I see just the purity of something over here. And purity a lot of times will show up in specific nakshatras, or the 0 degree, of your sidereal placement. I have a 0 degree ascendant in Chitra Nakshatra, 0 degrees, with Pluto sitting at 1 degree, almost right on top of it. not quite 0, but 1 degree. I have a 0-degree Lilith conjunct the galactic center and Neptune in my 3rd house, another 0-degree point. And my 0-degree, I'm a Libra ascendant. My ascendant lord, Venus, is 0 degrees of Pisces. So I found ways to make sure I was completely pure in my mission here. Having, I just saw something over here. Having not only my ascendant degree at 0, but also my ascendant lord, which rules my 1st and 8th house of Libra and Taurus in my Libra ascendant chart. Heavy stuff. But having that 23-degree Saturn in the 12th house kind of in conjunct my ascendant, because it's also in Chitra Nakshatra. But Saturn is like, it's going into architect in Chitra. Chitra is the divine architect, nakshatra. But my Saturn there in the 12th house is very heavy, but the fact it is where it is in Chitra is like, I'm going to audit all of this and I'll get back to y'all on what this means. Like, that's what my Saturn's out here doing. And Saturn is like the functional benefic for I think only one ascendant, and that's Libra ascendant, because Saturn is exalted in Libra. I do not have a Libra Saturn. I have a Virgo Saturn. But because, you can take your if you have a Cancer ascendant, where your Jupiter would be your functional benefic. And it's a functional benefic for most people. It's actually a functional malefic for someone that's a Libra ascendant, but because my Jupiter sits in the 1st house of Libra, it kind of somehow weirdly cancels it out. Plus I have a part, what's it called? Parivartana Yoga, where my Venus is in my Jupiter house and my Jupiter is in my Venus house, because Jupiter rules Pisces and Venus rules Libra, and they switch places. So that kind of almost acts as like a guardian angel in your chart. If you have any planets, like if your Mars and Mercury, your Mars is in Virgo and your Mercury's in Scorpio, as an example, that they're protecting each other, even if they're considered enemies or what have you. Venus isn't considered an enemy of Jupiter, but Jupiter hates, according to the Vedas, hates Venus Sukra, because it is one of the asuras or whatever, or the like god of this world or whatever. But again, they invert almost everything, so I take all of it with a grain of salt at this point. Versha's back. I'm glad you made it back. Versha, you have donated. I'm just sitting here chit-chatting. But yeah, we have a full read for Versha, so we might as well just get right into it for you. Absolutely. Oh, hot mess, crying most of the time. Okay. Question in message. Perfect. Not perfect that you're feeling that way. I mean, it is perfect that you're feeling that way. There's nothing, I keep seeing orbs, probably dust, who knows. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with this. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. And I'll just timestamp as well. So we have 1810. And this is kind of probably going to be last call for timestamps. Last call for readings, because we're going to get into Versha's reading. And if we don't have any after that, I might as well take the opportunity to go get some writing done, right? Or some decluttering. I definitely need to fold some laundry. Ooh, writing's really pulling me, but laundry duty calls. I don't know. I'll figure one out. Maybe if I get the laundry folded, I could write after that. How about that? Okay, let's get into Versha's question. Okay. So I am a hot mess, crying most of the time, horrible body aches, burping, nausea, and even spotting again. I felt better a bit after shadow integration. However, I feel I'm going through another major transformation. Every time I think this is the last, it's the last. That is horrible. This is another one. Oh, this one is another wave. Let's see, I can read, I swear. Today, S is coming back and I feel like running away. He is the last thing I want to handle right now. I feel fear coming up and even wish he stayed there more. And then I feel horrible for feeling so. And that whole like guilt, that's something I'm also dealing with in my relationship, but in a completely different way. Just the fact that I would be like readily available to my husband for just anything he needs or wants, or like, I'm there. Your right-hand man. I'm your right hand, Amanda. Kind of feeling that energy coming into my K2 Mahadasha though. I'm like pulling back. I'm like, I can't do that. And instead of, I'm still kind of feeling the guilt, like at times, But at the same time, I'm like, no, the guilt is like the matrix trying to keep me looped into doing things that don't feel good to my spirit. Not that, oh, hey, can you do this real quick? Isn't like in the grand scheme of my spirit, it's almost nebulous. It doesn't mean much. But those things add up, your time getting, like let's go here, let's go to do this, let's go do that. I was like, no, I need to stay home. Or I'm gonna sit this one out, or whatever. Again, I used to feel that guilt, but that's that keep trying to keep us in that old version of ourselves when we feel that guilt. So if you do start to feel shame or guilt because you speaking up for yourself or standing in your truth is going to cause that friction with someone, sit into that guilt and say, this is not me. This is a matrix, a hook into that old, people pleasing tendency or what have you. And eventually that guilt won't have anywhere to hook in as long as you're looking at it. There's nothing you need to heal or do. Just you looking at the fact, hey, I'm feeling guilt right now. You don't even have to intellectualize it or look at it through a logical lens. Just looking at the fact you feel guilt right now shines a huge spotlight on it. You don't even have to try to not feel guilty or try to shift it. Just you acknowledging and sitting in that guilt. That's the matrix doesn't want you to do that, because then that means, oh, she saw the puppet, the strings with the puppet. Oh no, oh no. So you're not doing anything wrong. You're really not. But let's continue your question, then we'll start our timer. I went off on a tangent. You guys know me though. It's just what I do. I feel fear coming up, and even wish he stayed there, and then feel so horrible for feeling so. With so many planets acting up, he gets impacted and picks fights. In normal days, I manage, but during this unraveling going on, I don't even feel engaging with Kay. It makes, again, there's that hook, especially when it's your kids, because I've had to say no to my kids so much lately that I'm just like, I'm working through it rather than just feeling that guilt and not really looking at, but just feeling it and wallowing in it and then just bending over backwards, even though that's the last thing I want to do for my kids. Instead, I'm like, I feel guilty right now, but I'm going to stand my ground. Eventually, everyone will learn kind of a new dynamic or a new way through it. So instead of feeling that guilt and wallowing in it, feel that guilt and just shine a very aware spotlight on it. Or whatever negative emotion, if it's anger, if it's rage, if it's, insert what, and this is good information for anybody. And yeah, standing your ground with Kay. It's weird because I find it much easier to stand my ground and have my boundaries with my kids than I do my husband. And in fact, I think the hardest relationship for me to have any sense of boundary is with my husband. But that is kind of the relationship for most people where they do lose themselves the most, or maybe not lose themselves, but like almost feel like their pain is your pain. Same with children, but it's a different dynamic, if that makes sense. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying, but all of these feelings are valid is basically what I'm trying to say. Ethan's here. Oh my gosh, Ethan, how are you? It's been so long. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Yes, so he gets impacted, picks fights, and then normal days I manage, but during this unraveling going on, I don't even feel like engaging with Kay. It makes me feel so horrible, as if I'm not a good mom. It's not a lot of guilt. More, it's like, I need my space, man. He said his man. Yes. And that's where, not that my husband's needs and complaints and the things he has going on at work that he wants to vent about aren't valid. But when I'm in this writing fugue state, or just trying to create space in my mind and my aura for more information for my series to download, and then I hear, my kids complaining or my husband talking about work and what this one guy that he doesn't like said, it really muddies the water. Not that he's a bad person or that I can't listen to those complaints a different time, but it just I'm like, I kind of feel like a bitch because I'm like, I just can't do this right now. Where before I would listen to hours and hours and hours of that and just feel so lethargic by the end of it, I was almost nauseous. I'm learning to stand my ground. And as I do that, I'm setting a new precedent, in my relationship with my husband, my kids, my other family members, because most people just in general, they want to focus on the negative. That's just how we're programmed here. But when we start deciding, ooh, the gossip, the complaining, this all doesn't just feel good to me anymore. Not only does it not feel good, it's literally repelling me to your energy. I need my space, I need my distance. You take your space, your distance, or if you can flip it in the moment, like, let's talk about our goals together. Let's talk about our, like, there's always something, more positive or better you can try to talk about. Someone like S though, Versha, is going to be very difficult to like try to flip the script. Unlike my husband, he can easily kind of flow into it, it's like, oh, okay. But someone like S who's like looking for a fight, it's going to be almost impossible. So the only thing you can do in that instance is just say, I'm going to need to go lay down. I need my space. Whatever you need to say, for your peace. Your peace is kind of the priority right now, especially as you just literally need not to be poked and prodded right now, energetically, physically, literally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually speaking. So I'm looking at all this. What is the exact question you're asking? Because it's more like you kind of told me what was going on. I'm not sure what question you're asking specifically. Just advice, wisdom, guidance. I'll start the timer. Not my calculator, my timer. I'm still trying to get used to this white clock. It was a black clock, and I'm just used to the black clock. Okay. Yes, advice. Perfect. There's the chaotic energy. Okay, I literally dumped half of it on the ground. I will pick those up. Only one of them landed face down, and I feel like there's a message. Oh no, I just wheeled right over one of the cards. It bent it. Oh well. It's opening to discovery, the number 34, which adds up to a 7. There's a key and a lock. And it's like a portal. A whole new world is opened up right there. But the one that was... Okay, so all these landed face up with this one. I just rolled over that one. But the one that landed face down, this is it. This is it right here. Ooh, a powerful move. Oh, how cool. How interesting. Look at this. It's almost the same symbolism in the middle there, but the key has been put in the lock. And I want to say that's the queen in chess. I'm not a chess player, so don't quote me on that. Chess players out there, can you confirm that's the queen? I'm hearing Miss Sovereignty herself, so I'm now seeing the Queen of Wands. She has wings, though. It's like she can take flight. And this power move, this is almost like a disco ball meets spinning globe. Earth meets... Oh, that's a queen. Oh, cool. I'm glad someone knew. Good job, Ethan. Thank you. Yeah, and then we have the number 15, which I want to say I like kind of lose track of what card is what number in the middle. I want to say that's Temperance or thereabouts. Because 16 is Tower, 17 is Star. Let me just see. I want to say it's Temperance. Let me just see. Oops. Open a new tab. Number 15. Maybe it's the Devil. I think it's the Devil, actually. Number 15 in Tarot. Again, that kind of teen. Yeah, it is the Devil. Okay. But that's the crazy thing is the Devil adds up to a 6. The 15 adds up to a 6, which is, oh, you're getting 666 a lot. And that doesn't mean bad. That doesn't mean demonic or anything like that. A powerful move. I'm hearing to read from the book on this one, because that 6 is a very nurturing energy. Yes, the 15 can be rough with the Devil energy, but I was almost getting like the Temperance vibe from the 15 for some reason. All right, a powerful move, key concepts: action, movement with purpose, effort, putting into motion your intention, making choices from an empowered, thoughtful place, and positive change. Even if you don't feel very positive or empowered in this moment is like the waves of the ocean churning up during some sort of big storm, so that once the storm has died down and there's peace, you will have that empowered energy. Like, this is like not even a 3D, more like a 5 or 6 or however many D chessboard. And then I want to say maybe that's the king. If that's the queen, that may be the king. But it's like standing in her sovereign femininity. She doesn't need that king to rule over her, is energetically what's coming through. And that king could represent S, the patriarchy, the matrix, you know, these systems that are looking for top-down control, whatever that looks like. But it says this time for rest is over. So you're not going to be in this for long, Versha. This is going to be ending soon. So the time for rest is over. Change is in the air. This is a powerful time when deliberate action is needed to move your intentions out of the realm of thought and into the material, from ideas into actions. How do you approach your relationship to the invisible world as it influences the visible? Do you see the relationship? Do you recognize yourself as a unique, whole, and worthy being who has special place in the world, whose offerings are valuable, and whose life has meaning? You are a mighty co-creator, so step into that power and see your intentions manifest in the world. Real positive change is possible when you make choices from an authentic sense of self and take a conscious step toward your dreams. To take steps toward your intended experience, start first with the way you think. Let curiosity be the focus now, a display of willingness to discover new things instead of confirming your past expectations. Be open, be clear about your motives and desires, and set your intentions. Excuse me. Then step into the magic, just waiting for you to claim it. Traveling, moving, flowing, flying, whatever describes the changes in your life, know that these are called for now. Act with thoughtfulness and awareness, and remember to be true to yourself. What is called for now is doing the thing that needs to be done. All will be better and well. What an exciting time indeed. And in the grand scheme of your kind of process here, your question, what needs to be done is you stating those boundaries. Yeah. Fun. So much unraveled from the last reading for my dragons to now. Oh my God. Wow. I was thinking about, I am still expecting anything from S. Let's just get some tarot in the mix. That's not tarot. Where's tarot? There's tarot. Because we kind of did have that Queen of Wands energy there. But let's just get a few tarot cards in and just see if there's anything else Versha needs to know. Advice, guidance, wisdom as she navigates this next transition she's currently going through and into the near future. All right, we have the Hermit. Yeah, this is literally that solitary energy to rediscover who you are. And what a beautiful Hermit energy here. It's almost like the Queen of Wands with that fire on top of her head, the crown. Not even the crown, the soul star chakra. Look at that. Let's get one more. Guidance, advice, wisdom. And I just heard Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac. So that comes up all the time lately and before. So maybe in those specific lyrics of that song, there's some guidance, information, advice through these times. Final closing statement. Ooh, yeah, big changes are coming, but look, through that death is that rebirth. And I almost think what you should do is screenshot this card if you can and count how many of these little black stars are going around. I don't want to do it right now because it'll probably take too much time, but I'll give you a second to screenshot, or we're at 32:58 roundabout timestamp, just so you can see and you can count those. I want to say maybe there's close to 21 because there's 21 major, well, it's technically 22 major arcanas in. Oh, you did take a picture. Perfect. Yeah, you can count those little stars. For some reason, that's never stood out to me before until now. And then we have Queen of Pentacles on the back of the deck. So it's like you're alchemizing those ideas, that sovereignty, that vibe, that feeling of the Queen of Wands, and you're putting it into your cooking, you're cleaning, you're taking care of Kashfi, just being a human on this planet, all the like very mundane tasks of someone of your spiritual caliber that you still are performing in this world. And doing it from that place of that hermited authenticity and uniqueness and spiritual authority. Yeah. Yeah, the flower on that death card. Yeah, that was a beautiful rose, I think it was. If I remember right. Ooh, I just saw it. Yes, a white rose, which I think means purity. Correct me if I'm wrong, but purity. It's not about being a virgin and all this. It's about purifying your energy back to what your spirit is and who your spirit is, and just sloughing off or peeling away or taking off all the layers or coats of what the false matrix has projected onto you through the trauma and the wounding and everything. And then we have the Lovers as well. This is really giving me that movie, The Labyrinth. You know how all the stairs were kind of going weird and upside down when I think the character's name was Sarah, was trying to find her little baby brother Toby with the Goblin King or whatever his name was. Oh gosh, why am I? Jareth? Was that his name? I can't remember. The Goblin King on the Labyrinth. I think it was Jareth. Yeah. Anywho, hopefully that helps. This isn't going to last long, Bersha, so, you know, it feels probably already like it's already lasted too long, but it's coming to a head here. Yeah, this is the final shedding, so bring it on. And I guess that's why I'm feeling the way I am now. Yeah, sometimes it's like, be careful what we wish for. It's like, are you sure? Are you sure? You're sure. You got it. All right, Ethan has donated. All right. So just wanted to see which spiritual gifts I should hone in on. I'm getting into tarot readings for fun. Oh, cool. And I wanted to see which spiritual gifts I should hone in on to elevate my readings, for lack of a better wording. Okay, I'm already getting this huge vibe about sound and frequency. There's something about sound healing. Ooh, I have chills. So even just the sound of your voice. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think you did sing back in the day, or you loved singing. I know dancing for sure as well. But singing and dancing to me are kind of almost two sides of the same coin, because a lot of times if you're dancing, there's some sort of singing or music going on. So it's like a singing and dancing. And it doesn't mean you have to be a performer or, you know, try to get a record deal. Nothing like that. This is about using these in spiritual ways. Specifically like in like the root to sacral chakra. And more cards they're just all falling today for whatever reason. I'm going to read the two that fell. One fell face up and one fell face down. The face up was red, forgive. It's very self-care energy. Lots of pretty red flowers here. Not sure. Oh no, these are not flowers. These are tomatoes. Tomatoes. I'm like, those look very vegetable-y. Yes, tomatoes. And then on the other one, we had garden. Oh, maybe you're growing some tomatoes. Something lovely will grow from this. And now we have some pretty roses. Not quite those red roses we saw. Maybe these aren't roses. Well, she's got a red, almost reminds me of the Beauty and the Beast red rose or pink rose, whatever color it was. Yeah. But let's just see. Start our timer just so I can try to remain slightly on track. Okay. Spiritual gifts. Yeah, they did look like roses from afar. And it's almost like beauty is in the eye of the beholder is kind of a message. But let's just see what spiritual gifts Ethan is honing in on. Ooh, I love this. Okay, so there is definitely some ways that you can help people heal from past neglect, lying, cheating, stealing, getting lied to, cheated on, stolen from. And normally this is someone, there's like 5 swords and 2 swords. It's kind of 2 cards in one in the traditional depiction, but it's like all 7 swords are coming at this person and they look like they're running. They're kind of sweating and running. So you're really good at helping people overcome or kind of face the challenges, especially the challenges they've been through where they felt wronged in some way by someone else. And especially because this usually can indicate a card about lying. We have the Ace of Swords here to come with it, and we also have the Fool, but we'll get into this. The Ace of Swords is about the truth. It's about clarity, cutting through the BS. Human lie detector. You're a human lie detector. So trust your first instinct. If someone is telling you something, Ethan, and you're kind of like, I mean, I want to believe them because I love this person or I like this person, but like, doesn't sit right. You just know. Or you can just kind of feel the vibe of someone's intention or their spirit or lack thereof. You're really good at that. I've also had many loved ones that have crossed over, come through my readings. That's right here. The Fool is, you know, since you've been around here, we've kind of almost designated this stepping outside the matrix card because it has the number 0, which is kind of, it's impossible, you know, unless we're looking at binary code, 1s and 0s, 1s and 0s. But as far as like degrees, degrees for incarnation, a 0 degree, you're kind of invisible in that regard to the matrix in some way. But this is there's a lot of potential here. So however far you've made it on your spiritual journey, Ethan, which I'm sure you've really discovered some things about yourself and you're like feeling like super spiritual at this point. But I keep hearing you ain't seen nothing yet. You're just now starting to tap into just the tip of the iceberg of who and what you truly are, and the gifts that you actually bring to this planet. You ain't seen nothing yet. And over the course of the next year, 2 years, 3 years, you're going to really start bringing more of your spirit online to be able to, wherever your passions are is what's being highlighted as go in that direction. Even if you only go so far in that direction before you decide to pivot, that's all the farther maybe you meant to go in that direction, because just you going in that direction at all is what catalyzed you to then make the pivot. So trust those inner nudgings of joy and the things that light you up. I just have chills again, because those are directing you back to your spirit, or allowing more of your spirit to come online. And then we have the 10 of Cups, which is about absolute emotional fulfillment. This is really, you really are powerful. Absolutely. There's no other way you would have been here all those years ago. And now, this is a very small niche of people that even have the bandwidth to be able to tune into these frequencies, that all of us here, that brought us together at some point or another. Even if we go our separate ways and meet back in the future, or we never reconnect again or whatever, this really is saying how you had to be on certain bandwidth to even connect to, even your own spirit, because in this matrix, everything's kept so it's like the frequencies are so gate kept. The fact that you even realized you are a spiritual being having a human experience is like half the battle alone. That alone is half the battle, because there are multitudes of people out there that still have a spirit in their body that will never wake up to the fact they have a spirit in that body, or more importantly, a body within the spirit energy. So consider yourself already halfway there, but the halfway there that you are is like tip of the iceberg. Not saying, oh, you're a noob, or that's not what I'm saying. Think of how much spiritual progress you've made, and then times that by 1,000,000, because that's how much potential you actually have, is what I'm trying to say. To do good things in this world, to create. It's not about you fixing anything in this world. It's about you going your own way, marching to the beat of your own drum, to create a life, a world that is not what we're currently living in, or surviving, I guess would be a better way to put how this world is right now. A lot of us are either in survival mode, or have decided, oh yeah, I'm totally vetoing the whole matrix politics and celebrities, and I'm just, that's just background noise, and I'm not listening to it anymore. I'm focused on my mission, my spiritual gifts, my joy, my happiness, my family, my friends, whatever that looks like for you, Ethan. But there's a lot of just spiritual good stuff that's still beneath the surface for you that you will gain access to. And you'll be able to share that with people around you. And I almost see these two eyes, like almost like eyes in the middle of this cup here. Like you will start to wake people up around you just by being you, just by doing the things that bring you joy. It's not even that they're signing up for a reading or a healing with you and then they get healed. It's more just them being in your proximity, your presence, even if it's someone you know online, just them being in your vibe is enough to start planting those seeds to wake them up to their potential, to their spirit as well. It's really beautiful. Yeah, I remember coming to a realization, being like, damn, I really am powerful. Yes. And I'm reconnecting to my interest in music. I'm learning the piano. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Yes. A lot of that's what I was hearing at first, is the sound. And even if it's not the best sound ever out there, the fact that it brings you joy and the fact that you get better and better every time you play, that's all that matters, because it's bringing you joy. And when you're in that frequency of joy, that opens the gate for more of your spirit to come online. The more time you can spend in joy doing the things that light you up, you're doing a great service for humanity. If you feel like, well, I got to sacrifice, I got to go to this job I hate, or be in this family that I don't agree with, or, go along to get along with the politics at this other place that I go to, you're not doing humanity any service by trying to go along to get along. You following your joy, everyone listening, you following your joy is what breaks, little by little, breaks this matrix, because they want us in suffering. They want us in martyrdom. They want us, ho-hum, I guess this is just life, how life is. No, be joyful. And even if you can't be joyful except doing this one specific thing, then do that thing. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, which I'm sure most of you here wouldn't never anyway. But Yes. Oh wow, that is crazy. I didn't think my potential is that grand. Yes, it is. Absolutely, it is. We all come from that source, which is the ultimate God, the ultimate creator outside of this matrix system. Um, yeah, been honing on that third eye and crown chakra. By the way, purple is my favorite color. Oh, I love purple. I love purple. If you couldn't tell, yeah, I'm done people pleasing. I'm deconstructing that bad habit. It's probably one of the biggest lessons most of us who have a spiritual purpose here are learning. And especially right now, it's like that friction of that people pleaser we most of us used to be versus us living our authentic truth. It's going to be more important for us to live that authentic truth than to avoid the conflict or the friction and just go along to get along or be the people pleaser or the doormat or the whatever. It's going to be much more detrimental. Maybe it served us in the past, and absolutely there were times it served us in the past to just not rock the boat, not create that friction, just go along to get along, be kind of flying under the radar. But those times are about to come to an end, especially Ethan, we've been talking a lot on here about the human design. If you Google the cross of the sleeping phoenix 2027, and you can read about it or watch a YouTube video about it. We're moving into a whole new era. We are changing the underlying energy that we have been experiencing on this planet since 1615, the year 1615. And basically everything that's happened since 1615 is like basically the whole industrial revolution, corporations, governments taking over. That's been the last 415 odd years. But in 2017, we move into something called the Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix, which is all about awakening to our authenticity and our own power and doing the things that light us up because it benefits the whole world, pretty much everything we were just talking about. So if you run your human design chart, an easy site is ahumandesign.com, or you can go to geneticmatrix.com. Lots of places you can run your chart for free. And I would say if you care to learn, the most important things you need to learn are what your type and your strategy are. Above anything else, above all the gates and, confusion of what's my incarnation cross, what's this, what's that, find out what type you are, because that'll tell you how you operate in the world. And then your strategy is the software through which you operate in the world. And it'll cut like so much of the matrix noise, just you following your strategy and authority. Your type, your strategy, and authority. Those are the top three things to learn about yourself. Your type, your strategy, your authority. Because your authority is how you navigate, I guess. Yeah. So the type is the hardware, the strategy is the software, and the authority is the navigation system of it all. That's the best way I can put it. I don't know. I've never heard anyone describe it like that, but that's, yeah. It's really, really beneficial. And you can just, if you know your exact birth time, it's good. If you don't know your exact birth time, your incarnation cross, maybe you don't know your exact birth time, but you're like, oh, I was born in the morning. I do know that, but I don't know what time. Just pick a time in the morning, and then your incarnation cross most likely will be the same, whether it's from morning to night. And your type, I want to say, would still be the same. I'm not 100% sure, but you can, if you know your birth time, even better. But if you're guessing at a birth time, just try to ask your parent or whatever, what time was I born, or what time of day was I born? And that can kind of help you get pointed in the right direction. But all right, I hope that resonated for you. Oh, you know the exact time. Then no worries, you got it. Oh, it's in the morning. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, I was born at 6:30 at night, so right on the dot. Too funny. All right, well, let me just double check that we're all caught up on our donations. Yes, we are. Just refresh one more time, make sure. Yeah. Perfect. Well, you guys, I hope you had fun. I had fun here today. It was a pretty short live stream compared to most, but sometimes we just get in and get the job done. Oh, I'm glad it resonated for you, Ethan. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well in college or whatever it is you're doing these days. I know last I heard you were still in college and doing some fun stuff. Sounds like you're getting back into your music, learning the piano. So fun. But yeah, it's good to catch up with you a little bit. Well, yeah, I will be around on Wednesday. We're going to do a free 1-card pull to start. And then again on next Friday, a week from today, Friday the 13th, we're doing the 1313 full reads. that day only for the Divine Feminine, Friday the 13th, fun stuff. Oh, it was fun. Oh, good. Well, thanks again, you guys, so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Portal Tarot Live on Woo Woo Wednesday at, I almost said 6 p.m., but we haven't done a night 6 p.m. Woo Woo Wednesday in a while, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And it'll probably stay that way for a while because we have baseball season coming up and then summertime, and then we're back in the school year again. And I at least for the time being, I think just sticking to daytime live streams, even though it's a whole fun, exciting vibe at night, we're just going to have to stay to the day, at least until I can get a private office again. Because this is now Wrigley's bedroom. It's my old office, but it's now Wrigley's bedroom, and I have to borrow his desk for the day when I come in here. But usually at night, I want him to come in here and go to bed, so I have no office anymore. But hopefully someday I'll have a little nook out here soon, out in my landing area that overlooks my living room. It's not the most private, but at least it would be a workspace. So I will take it when I can get it all set up. All right, you guys, thanks again, and I will see you next time. Peace. Have a great weekend. Bye.